Hello, everybody. मैं हूँ Rahim Fatma, and today we have, I guess, one of the most special guests ever on, on the show. Because today we have Ma'am Sara Zahid. She is my own science teacher, and इनकी हिम्मत है मुझे बर्दाश्त करती हैं इनका रोज का काम है मुझे बर्दाश्त करना and so this is my science teacher, guys. She has been teaching for over 9 years, and she really has an insight of what's going on in our education system. And today she's gonna share a lot of new things with us. So I think without further ado, and we got a lot of people watching us now. We just got 11 people, 13 actually, and the number keeps on moving in less than a minute. So probably a record. But so I think without further ado, let's get to Ma'am Sara Zahid. So hello, how are you, ma'am?
Hi, Raheen. How are you? Good to hear from you.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
absolutely fantastic, and I'm rather honored that I'm a part of your online streaming session. And I was greatly obliged when I heard your request of putting your teacher online for this whole thing. So I think I'm greatly honored. Raheen being one of the most lovely student ever, very friendly and naughty at the same time. So I felt great. I mean, hearing from you during this lockdown, especially when things, they have gone to some, health and they have hung up so badly. But Alhamdulillah, education system and everything, things are swift enough from our school part as well, from the students as well. So I felt great. I mean, thank you so much for, giving me this opportunity to be talking to you rather, to be talking to you, all the fans over there, and to be one of those whom you consider to be, be on this platform. I feel great. Yeah.
I also feel honored having, you know, you are my teacher, but you are a very experienced teacher, and you really, uh, like, let's just be honest. मुझे बर्दाश्त करना आसान काम नहीं है, right? And you do that. So, Ma'am Sara, so can you please introduce yourself? As in, क्या आप बताएं what you have done and what you have seen, a few things that you have seen over the years in this education system, and please speak a little louder because you have a low voice.
Okay. I hope everybody would be able to hear me. Well, Raheen, it's not a very long journey, but I basically professionally I'm a pharmacist. I am also working as a teacher in city school right now in your capital campus, and I have completed my pharmacy from Rifa International University, Pakistan. After completing my pharmacy, my interest further, like I felt like doing more and exploring more about medicines. So I did my MPhil in pharmaceutical sciences. Alongside, I got this opportunity in teaching this school side, and then I've been also teaching in university for a while. When I started off with my MS, I taught in university for about 3 years. So it was again a very new experience. I felt like I am good at communication. I'm good at answering questions because I remember I was the kind of child who would always have questions. I was very rational from the very beginning that why things are happening. You see, a very pragmatic approach that you should have a reason for everything that's going around. So basically, that was the time when I felt that science is something that is helping me out with all my questions. The more I explored about things, about living objects, especially because I'm basically a biologist, and I've been working more in pharmaceutical sciences in terms of this, medicine and drug thing. So I explored myself as one of those people who are more into living objects. But well, my interest as like I felt more interested in all these things. I kept on completing my research work. Then, because of course completion, I gave myself a bit of break. I just tried completing it, and then when I got the opportunity, teaching in city school, I came across different sized kids. Some of them were of O levels, some of them were of prep, some of them were juniors, some of them were big enough. So it was a great opportunity. I felt like I was a part of that stream where I have joined the same kind of people who have this rational approach. They would like ask questions. I mean, it was a fantastic experience talking to students of different age groups. Like teaching O levels for the past 5 years now, it's totally different, and teaching the prep students is absolutely different. We could be more, of the environment where you could initiate things with the prep learners. You could make learning even more, interesting. We have certain activities, we have certain games, we have certain AFers in the classrooms that we have a wonderful interactive environment. And I think my school has provided me a forum where I can equally enjoy with my students. Like we have been provided with stream labs, with practical lab environment, with the learning activity. So teaching since then has become a lot of fun for me. Like university teaching is absolutely different, college teaching is absolutely different. But when you come to this level of learners, where the learners are equally interested in knowing more because they're actually exploring, so the experience is, I mean, absolutely fantastic. Even I have learned more. Like being a student, maybe I have not been able to learn about those things which I'm learning now with my students, because you have to live something. So you have to be really well prepared before you could, go into this level of their, their thinking and their mindset. So I feel it has been amazing. Like I have so many of students like you. Ryan obviously is, one of a kind only. But because of students like you who keep questioning, who keep exploring things, teaching has become a real fun for me. I am learning. I mean, I'm still learning, and I would like to make myself, better every day. So I feel a lot of fun interacting with you guys. I mean, being with students, kids. At the end of the day, the lot of warmth and love that you take back home from the students, and then their appreciation, we can feel it while we are teaching. So it's the greatest, I mean, acknowledgement or achievement we could ever, give or provide our own selves. So I feel that
Yes.
this is how the teaching began for me. And why I chose teaching was, like you, I find that you have that spark of communicating with people. You have that good convincing power. You have that ability to talk to people very creatively. So in a similar manner, I feel I can, make good conversation students. I feel great when I interact with people of different ages. So this ability, it made me teach actually. Like I'm also working as a pharmacist, but for me teaching is very close to my heart, because it provides me, something of my interest, and my interest basically is learning and exploring. So through my students I have, been able to find that particular, streamline for my own self, that this is where I need to go.
Yes. And so I have a lot of question when it comes to teaching. And science, I guess, is like a very vast subject. And like you always told me in class when I said I didn't like science, like even maths, every single thing in this entire world, even this thing that I'm sitting on, this laptop, this works with science. So it's a very big responsibility when it comes to teaching a new generation science, because you're telling them the way ahead, like the future basically. And I think the main barrier when it comes in Pakistan is the language, because they really can't do it in English or in Urdu anyway. You know, it really becomes different when it comes to where you teach and where I learn, because somehow the city school is supposed to be the most one of the most elite schools of Pakistan. So we have most of the facilities, as in we have labs, we have we could do most of the working as well to see how the things are actually happening. But what do you have to say about science and how the language that it's being taught in really matters in general?
Okay, so I hope you're able to hear me. Well, firstly, like you said, that biological sciences, they are actually, it's not just a single branch of science. It have got to do with so many different aspects of life, not just it's medicine, it's about physiology, it's anatomy. It's actually something which is, having a lot of departments already. So, as you said, that teaching biology and then getting back to the level of prep students, yes, it is absolutely a very different experience. Firstly, because when you're only dealing with biological sciences with the students who are of the age group of 16 and 15s, because they have been doing this subject from a very long while now. And since talking to them only in terms of biology, we are talking about human sciences mainly. So since we are talking about human sciences and we are talking about brain and we are talking about eyes and we are talking about heart, I still feel elevated when we are talking about the things which are lying in our body. And it was the same with me that whenever I used to study about heart or circulatory system or anything, I would see on the page, I would always ask my teachers that are they really arteries or veins lying inside our body? I mean, if we are dissecting a frog or if we are doing anything like that, is it really going to be the same when we open up a human body or thing like that? So the same kind of spark and the same kind of interest is there when I'm teaching biology to my 9th and 10th graders. And they have certain questions which make teaching even more interesting, that is it really going to happen? Or if we talk about eye or if we talk about heart, are they really going to be the cells, or is the blood grouping that important, or the blood typing that important? So then we bring forth such instances, we bring forth such experiences where we can talk about such things in detail. And when they watch certain videos or when they practically watch certain things in the biology lab, they feel great that okay, this is what we have been studying about. So biology is much more lived by the practical instances, by the things we show them, because reading is something and doing things practically, it gives you an insight into what really is happening. So I feel like they find it very interesting because it's something related to the the life of a human being. And we talk about a human being, we talk about the systems already that are there in the body. So it makes things interesting for them as well, and for me too, because I'm delivering that. Coming to the prep students, yes, there is so much. Like it's not just it's chemistry, it's physics, it's the normal biological science that is going on. So the students, because they have little minds, those are not really well developed with thoughts. They still have a lot of questions, and sometimes the questions are same, but sometimes even those related questions, they have a lot more that if you answer them correctly, it gives them a new approach that okay, this could have happened this way. So teaching the prep learners at this very stage, I feel it's quite more different because they have those mind which are always asking questions. Like prep learners, they are very much into why things are happening. If you see the sun every day, why don't we see it at night? I mean there are so many things which they don't want the teachers to answer them properly. So I mean it's even more fun then because I'm only related to the sciences. So when I'm like caught up during the class if the teacher is asking with a question, and sometimes I get it, but I feel like finding more about it to give it to the students in another way. So yes, the experiences are absolutely different. But the prep learners, they have a lot of energy. They are real enthusiastic learners and they are steadfast in terms of science because every chapter has something different to give them. So I feel that it's equally interesting teaching them different things. Like currently we have been doing very simple reactions, the types of reactions that we are having. There are so many different types of reactions, then showing the reactions how they happen. So it is amazing. I mean, for me, I'm not only revising my own study, but in terms of all these sciences, I'm also revising the concept any student could have. And the biggest opportunity for you is the kids of your school system, or who are privileged enough to study in elite institutes like where we are teaching or you're studying right now. You are provided with certain forums where you keep on updating your own selves with not only the technology, but with books, with knowledge, and you have those guidance now. So I think learning and teaching has become equally difficult. It's a great challenge to be learning, and it's a great challenge to be teaching because students now can see anything, whatever is happening around the world. They just Google it and they have got those facts and figures, in before them. So teaching them correctly is a big challenge for teachers that they are even more inquisitive now. So where there is a lot of fun. I enjoy both streams, and for me, because I love teaching, it's something of my interest. So if I come across challenges, it makes my domain even more fun.
Yes. And so, interestingly, I remember this Friday I asked her a question. It was about alcoholic fermentation. You know how sugar and grains are, fermented and, alcohol is made. But so she answered it. And one thing that I love about her being my teacher is that she answers every question, even if it's like a basic, silly question. Everybody has a different definition for a silly question, but she answers a lot of our questions, and I think answering questions really, really is important. And so, ma'am Sarah, what would you want to say about the reform of our curriculum? Because somehow our books are now something old because, most of our books are like 2015 or they are not 2018 or 17 or 16. So they're like quite back now. So what would you want to say about our the reform of our curriculum?
I couldn't hear you clearly. If you could just repeat the question because the sound is actually.
Okay. So I was talking about do you how what do you want to say about the reform of our curriculum, like the basically the updating of our syllabus?
All right, the curriculum updation.
Yes.
Okay, as far as I have understood your question, you have just asked me that how in line are the resources provided to us so far with the curriculum we are having.
Yeah.
All right, firstly, well, it's something. It's also a challenge for all the schools in the world around to be providing students with the same level of learning experience as they provide it in schools, because it's something which is a pandemic, and it has affected the entire globe. So Pakistan, being a country where we have limited resources right now, for you people, I feel that the school is trying harder. I mean, it's a great big accomplishment for coming up with things very quickly, like in weeks, not in weeks, in days. We were, there with Microsoft Teams, and we were able to deliver the things, and the students were able to come up. Like if you compare yourself with any other school which is underprivileged, where the students are not provided with certain, technological gadgets and things like that, they're not equal in learning. They're trying hard to provide such a forum. But like you people are lucky enough that you people are able to interact with the teachers with certain online softwares now. And moreover, school though like there are certain constraints, there are issues, we have some technology problems at time, we have certain issues with the classroom where we have developed all the assignments and everything. So yes, there are challenges always, but I feel that for the system indeed, it is a great effort that they are trying in such hard times. They are trying to give you the best what they can with the equal cooperation of the admin and the faculty. So I think it's if I'm a child of your age and I take things back to my time, like I do not think it would have been the same scenario with us. Things could have got halted. We could have not been able to, we would have lost our years. But now things have changed so wonderfully. Like, I don't know whether you should use this word or not, but the thing is that things have changed entirely. And now you can actually, get along with the things just because of the internet that you have. just because of the facilities. And well, I would not say that the city school is not working that hard. Obviously, they are trying to make the ends meet. They are really working hard to put the things together in terms of curriculum understanding, and they're trying hard that the students' time is not wasted at all. So far as we have been asked that the curriculum will continue, so it's a big deal. I think I would really appreciate all those systems who are bringing things together and who are facilitating the parents and students so that the time is not wasted, because time is really important. It's like wasting your one entire year because of the thing that we are all suffering from. So I would say that yes, there are challenges. Sometimes the schools are even not able to give their 100%. Sometimes there are challenges on students' parts. Not every student is able to get along with such system. For them, routers are very important. Wi-Fi and connectivity is very important. But well, the school is trying, and I think if some effort is being put in, everybody should appreciate it.
Yes. And so, as you were also talking about this whole pandemic thing and how the internet has saved us, and it really has, because I think we wouldn't be doing this interview if it wasn't the internet. It would be like, okay, I come to your house, or we, meet up somewhere. And then, of course, it gets, awkward, like, me and my teacher are doing an interview. But it doesn't get awkward here because we are doing it online. I'm sitting in my house. You are in yours. So I think this pandemic, this coronavirus, is like that red button push that was needed for the digital Pakistan that the government had been working on. And I guess the digital Pakistan is already there because the phones are there, and the kids are there, and there are schools and everything. But how is it teaching in this time and teaching through technology? Because I know you're teaching on Google Classroom. So how's the experience?
Well, because this pandemic, it has affected people all over the world, and teaching in this lockdown condition, it equally tough for the faculty. Some there are so many issues that the faculty has to face in terms of technology. Like my class goes off at 11 early in the morning. So there are times when I need to say whether my is working differently because I need to communicate with the 20 students in my class. So I have to make sure that the girls are all up. They're all there with me. I need to show up myself. You see. So during this lockdown condition, I mean keeping a track of all the assignments, especially how the students are coming back with work, whether they are able to understand. Because when you are in the classroom, the teaching environment is absolutely different. You can see and hear every students. You can even get to know from expressions whether they are actually learning or not. Sometimes the students they pop out in group work. They tend to take help from their peer mates, but when you give them some individual task, they have a lot of difficulty. So that is the point where you need to see that which kind of AFL strategy you would apply to see whether the learning is working for all kinds of learners or not, because a class is a forum where all students are there, all types of students. Some are exceptionally good, some are just trying to make to get through. So it's very different being there in a classroom and then facilitating students like during this lockdown condition. We have to deliver our best during the online class, and I think it's a problem with everyone, because like if it's a 40 minutes lesson on the software that we are using, we have to make sure that we deliver, but at the same time we make sure that the students are learning by assignments only, or we talk to them. So well, trying to facilitate, let's see. But for the entire month, I feel, because the same kind of situation is prevailing, students and the teachers are facing difficulties, and then it's Ramzan going on, then there are so many other domestic issues. So you have to streamline and organize your own self and students at the same time, because obviously it's not just a single subject. They have so many other subjects, they have so many assignments from each subject. So I mean, every teacher is trying to lessen that burden somehow or the other, because she has to make the students work on her part because it's something about her subject. And for me also, I can only facilitate my students in terms of decreasing the burden that is on them. But well, yes, it's a very different attitude towards teaching and learning. Both teachers and students, they need to be accommodated properly. Otherwise, things, yes, they do become difficult.
Yes, and so because I know you as a teacher, and I know that online teaching for you is like not as hard as any other teacher, maybe just because that you never have, screen sharing problems or anything. I do remember that there was some sort of problem when there was, you coming to the class once, you had some sort of issue, but so we all had a free period. But again, I don't think so that technology, some people say that technology isn't as good and isn't as good as being there physically, but I think it is actually good. So, ma'am Sarah, as being a teacher, and you also teach like seventh graders, like me, and you also teach kids from the O levels. And the O levels is both like the seventh graders, and you did teach university kids for some time, but you were teaching so much, and somehow it's your responsibility, not responsibility, but it's your job to make kids, like basically the new generation, be interested in science and like science, and then also choose it, part of their learning, and then continue their entire learning journey. Because again, if there isn't science, there isn't technically anything. So how do you what do you want to say about that?
Okay, well, as I've already told you, they equally enjoy both O levels and prep streams because um, I like interacting with students. When they come up with questions, it gives me, the feeling that they are actually working in the classroom. They are able to get my instructions properly. They understand, they apprehend what I deliver. So at the same time, if you have asked, teaching both the streams is equally interesting. But what I would suggest is that when the students are in O levels, they have a different kind of pressure. They have to appear for CIEs. So this scenario actually changes for them. They tend to become less inquisitive because now they know that okay, we have to practice, we have to get through, and we are more curious regarding the grades that we're going to have. So their strategy, it absolutely changes when the moment they are there in O2 especially. So in O3 when they actually appear in my subject. But for the prep students, I feel that they have the same spark which moves on with time and it keeps on increasing until they are there in O levels. So I feel that learning, what my suggestion for both the streams is, or both kind of students is, learning should not be grade based. It should not be just um, reading or studying for the sake of your grades only, because your grades or the way you try to come up with things in the classroom or your activities, it doesn't really matter in the long run. What really matters is what you have absorbed through learning. And if you really are a good student, you would be equally good in everything. So my suggestion for both kinds is that focus there should be more on learning actually. When you explore more, when you absorb more, and you tend to keep or retain that knowledge, it is something which is going to be beneficial for you by the end of the day. Because nobody is going to your certificates or the degrees that you're holding. It's something that your intelligence would help you. Uh, I mean, going for a good activity or a job, any business, you can only run it properly if you are well equipped yourself. If you do not equip yourself with learning properly, if you are not a good human being, if you do not hold those values which are important to be a good person, you cannot be of any use to your own self, neither your own self nor the society. So this is a suggestion for every student in the world, I suppose. That first of all, we are supposed to be honest with our own selves. We are supposed to be honest with the professions where we are working, and we are really should have that spark in ourselves to learn and explore more. Because as the technology and everything, it's moving on. So I feel that it will be probably very difficult for those students and people to survive who do not have any access to certain gadgets and this technological gadgets that we are right. we are having right now. So, updating ourselves and being good and being honest selves is something which, is important, very, very important, substantial in your life.
Yes. And because you already gave out the message, so it's good that I didn't have to ask, but then you already gave a very beautiful message. So thank you so much, ma'am, that you agreed for an interview. You came here and you told us a lot about the education system and how, it does need a reform, but how science is also important, and how, teachers, in general are very important to the society because they are basically the, who ready the next generation and everything. So, and thank you so much to the viewers who watched very keenly to our interview. And with this, I need to say goodbye. But I would say that inshallah we would come back and with another personality who would have a lot to share. And I hope you learned a lot from this interview. So thank you so much and goodbye.